On today's episode of Black Flag Ordnance.
It's like in the hand, like it feels comfortable. Like it's not like super aggressive. It's like in the hand. What?
Damn.
Damn. Hey YouTube, welcome back to another video from Black Flag Ordnance. Today we have a great, awesome video for you guys. We have a special 226 that holds a special place in my heart, and I'm sure a lot of people out there. So today we're going to be going over the classic Sig Sauer 226. Let's get into it. All right, so I just want to say the presentation of this box is awesome. A lot of times now when it comes to Sig, you just get a plastic gray box. For the 40th anniversary, they did end up putting it in the original box, original design, I should say. This thing, I want to unbox it. I've been foaming at the mouth to unbox it. Let's get to it. So, opening up the box, it comes in this beautiful presentation. I mean, even like the red little felt, the gun itself. I mean, that's the main show right there is the gun. The cool thing about this gun is it is pretty much true to the classic 226 that released in 1984. Wow. 1984, and this is where we're at, right? 226s are still being made to this day. The cool thing about this one is it is bare bones. There's no red dot. There is no Picatinny rail even on the bottom. This thing was how it came in 1984. I mean, just take a look at that thing. These things are notorious. They have been proven both in civilian and military market. The Mark 25, that's what the Navy SEALs used for a very long time. So other than that, I'm going to go over at least a little bit of it, kind of just talk about a little bit. The overall construction, you can definitely tell that it's heavy. It's not like the old polymer guns you see now. This thing is metal, it's heavy, and it feels great in the hand. It has that positive weight to it. You know, you look at some of the polymer guns and they're real light, which isn't a bad thing, but just when you have something that does have a little bit of like solidity to it or weight, it just kind of makes it feel, I guess, better in some instances. And you know, it's definitely going to help mitigate recoil, anything like that. So if we come and take a look at the sights of these things, they are more of your modern Sig sights. They do have the night sights to them. Looking down in there, man, I mean, that's just that's just a classic look, especially when it comes to a 226. Overall, it's just a very nice sight picture. It's almost like you don't even need a red dot, right? So I'm gonna, brand new, by the way, this thing is brand new. Thank you, courtesy to Twan. He just bought this gun and he looks at me, he goes, I want you to unbox it. Didn't even shoot anything yet. So these are gonna be the first rounds ever fired out of this thing. I'm excited. I wanna get to it. I'm gonna load up some mags here and I'll give you my first reactions and thoughts on this thing because even I'm just so excited to shoot this thing. So the ammunition that we are going to be using is Blazer ammunition. These are 124 grain, just your standard run-of-the-mill ammo, and just see what it really does. Of course, there might be a break-in period. We might get a couple failures to feeds or failures to eject. I guess it's just going to depend on, you know, how the gun is for a break-in. Ton, did you lube this thing at all? Yeah, so it is lubed. All right, I'll give him that. You know. He did the maintenance before the first shot, so hopefully it helps a little bit if there's any hiccups. These things do come with 15 round mags. They're 15 round mags. I mean, it's not the, you know, 5 rounders or 10 rounders that some people are limited to, and it's not a 21. It's right in the middle, and that's not a bad thing. I mean, we are going back to basics here. I mean, these things are from 1980. It is an exact replica of it. Super excited. So without further ado, I'm going to look at this paper on my left and just see how it does, kind of feel a little bit of the recoil, just get pretty much the first couple shots and feeling for this handgun. Without further ado, I'm super excited to shoot this thing. Wow. So no hiccups. Very flat shooting. I mean, it is a big, heavy gun, and it's just, man, it's smooth. That is really smooth. If anybody wants to try to pick this thing up, I don't know how much they're going for right now, but if you're looking for a true classic 226 that's not thousands of dollars that were imported from Germany when the whole Berlin Wall and everything was going on, that's it. I mean, end of video right now. That's it. Just go buy one. But let's go ahead and check out the target and just kind of see where it's at. I'm not really sure where these iron sights are sitting as far as if it's a lollipop or more or less just a straight true, you know, line everything up, front and rear sight. But we'll go take a look. I did see I aimed a little high and a little left, but overall, we'll just go take a look at it. Just see the grouping. I mean, from here I can tell it's all right, but let's get. So as far as the grouping goes, I know I was a little high into the left, like I said, but I mean, overall, even the group itself, if we kind of just look at it and it's wholesome. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There is a little rip here, so I'm not going to count that in the same group per se. But I mean, overall, that's a pretty solid group. These, you know, I could do better. But as far as just kind of getting it first shots, you know, breaking it in, I'm okay with that. I did have a little bit of a flyer. That is to be expected as well. One, human error, but two, with breaking in a gun, sometimes a couple of the first shots are a little inaccurate. You kind of have to break it in a little bit. But yeah, let's load up another mag and let's talk about the gun as we load up mags. All right, so talking about this gun a little bit more, you know, standard 226 controls. If you look at this side here, there is the decocker, the slide release, the mag release, standard 226 grips. If I'm not mistaken, I know they've done it for a while. I can't remember if they did it back then, so don't quote me. I'll have to do a little bit more research, but I think these are factory Hogue grips. So they are a little bit more nicer grips than what you would see in some guns. I know that the 226 I have, it did have factory Hogue grips. They were like the wooden ones, but we're not talking about that one. We're talking about this one, the bad boy, the classic that everybody wants and everyone dreams about. The 226 you have at home compared to you want the 226 classic, right? So, ooh, ow.
Tactical operator.
So, you know, this gun, very easy to actuate these controls too. So sometimes when it comes to a gun, especially brand new, you have to break them in, and sometimes the slider release is really hard to actuate, or on the flip side, the decocker is not really a concern of mine, but the slider release, that's big. That's the one thing I noticed and I really like, is that it is easy to use right out the box. My thumb fits perfectly on it, but there are some guns out there where it's so hard to actuate that at first. Even with a full mag, it's just, you know, you're straining your thumb trying to get to it. So I am really glad that straight out the gate, these 226s, they're smooth. The one thing that I did notice about that one, I don't know if it's all of them, if it's more of like a classic-ish design, or if it's, you know, just something with this gun. But if you look, there is a little bit of wobble on that slide. You don't really feel it at all when you're shooting it, but when, you know, you're holding it in your hand and yeah. So I don't know if that was just more of the classic design, or if that is just a maybe a fault of this one. I don't have multiple 226s here to be able to tell you. So the other thing I was actually pretty impressed with was the magazine. Usually when it comes to these things and you get into the more higher capacity magazines, you're breaking your thumbs trying to put in, you know, 10, 15, 20 rounds. I was very happy to find out that with this one, it is stupid light. I mean, usually, you know, even with my 365 that I have here on the range, from the factory, it came with a magazine loader to help you load mags. This one, it does not. All right, it's classic. This is a real man's man gun. But regardless of that, you know, even just putting 15 rounds in this thing, it does not, like, it doesn't break your thumbs. I was very surprised just by the sheer, like, ease, I guess you want to call it. It's really light to do. I mean, you're at 15, and I didn't strain. I was just sitting here talking. I didn't realize I hit 15. You don't feel it, and that's awesome. So kudos to Sig for that one. Whatever they're doing with these classic 226 mags, I love it. So I'm going to try again on that group. I am going to go for the other paper target. I'm going to try to see if I can clean that up a little bit. We're about, I don't know, 20 yards, maybe. I would say about 20-ish yards. So even if my grouping isn't the best, realize we are at 20 yards on this. So I'm not saying I'm some super sniper or anything like that, but you know, I'm still practicing and learning every day just like you guys, and that's what we're here for. Review guns. I want you to, hey, you're looking at a 226 Classic? Here it is. So, all right, let's get out there. We're gonna do the same thing. I'm just gonna go all 15 shots, and then we'll move to some steel targets and see how that does. So let's get to it. My thumb must be riding that slide lock. But let's go take a look. I can already tell I'm shooting left again. So once again, it might be just the trigger pull. I'm not used to it. I try to adjust the best way I can. But let's get up there and see what it is. It looks a little tighter group-wise, so I'm kind of happy about that. But it's pretty much the exact same position. All right, so once again, I am shooting left, but man, look at those groups. It's almost like it's a pair every time. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Wow, I mean, overall, I mean, once again, at 20 yards, I don't expect too much. But having that group with a brand new gun, straight out the box, never shot around before, I mean, I'm okay with that. Once I kind of learn a little bit more of the trigger, I can maybe tighten up that group, see if I can get it more centered. But once again, it's not my gun. It's good old Twan's. So kudos to him. I'm actually going to see if he wants to shoot it. You want to have him shoot it on camera? Twan, once again, thank you for letting me shoot this gun. I want you to be able to feel it yourself. It's your gun. Go on target, man. Have fun. If you want to try something, go for it. Guys, give Twan a big thanks in the comments for even just buying this thing. Man was a trooper. He doesn't even like Sig, and I like it. I want it. So have fun, man. Hey,
there we go.
Yeah, buddy.
Not in front of my friend.
Be close. So I mean,
It was good.
it was good.
It was good.
Well, I mean, how'd you feel recoil-wise? Was it smooth?
Definitely better than the 320. The muzzle flip on 320, terrible. This one's because it's heavier and full metal.
I
feel
definitely
that.
agree. And it's smooth. It's like in the hand, like it feels comfortable. Like it's not like super aggressive. It's like in the hand. What?
Damn.
Damn.
My man's dick was out the whole time. That's crazy.
So, I mean, overall shooting it's not hard on the recoil. I mean, like you said, I mean, that thing is perfect. Like it feels solid, but in a like it's a positive feedback. I mean, I know we had a little bit of trouble there with the steels, but
This guy sucked.
but you picked it up though. That's the best part about it. Like you picked it up and you were able to come back on target, and you even got the last one on the shot, which is mint.
Need that shit.
Yeah.
For my pride.
Yeah, for your pride.
Not in front of my friend.
Not in front of my friends. So, I mean, if you don't mind me asking, just so the audience knows, how much did that set you back?
All said and done, 1150.
1150. Okay, so 1150 for the gun itself. It comes in the case with the mags. I mean, that's not a bad deal for a 226. I mean, because what, the Legions are 12, 1300.
It's like 1300 at least, I'd say.
Yeah, so for the Legions, it's about 1300. A regular 226, they're quite possibly around the same range. But with this one, at least you're getting, like, if you're really into history or anything like that, I mean, overall, it's a true carbon copy cut of the original 226. So with that being said, you know, you have your options when it comes to either a more modern 226 or the classic. It's really your choice. I mean, I do think they do have some things if you wanted to modify the classic, but I mean, overall, the gun itself, as it sits, it's ready to shoot. It's a solid gun, solid trigger pull. So I mean, yeah, it's really up to your choice. If I had to get one, it would probably be the classic. I'm not gonna lie. The classic is pretty cool. Buy it. Buy it. I'll have two 226. So for this last strain of fire, I'm going to shoot some steel, just try to get some shots on target. I know Twan struggled a little bit in front of his friends. I probably will too. So hopefully I don't do that bad. You know, I mean, once again, seal of approval. I mean, I've always liked Sig handguns, but this classic is definitely a throwback. It reminds me of Glock released their Classic 17, and that thing felt like garbage. I'm not gonna lie. I'm sorry, Glock fanboys. I like Glocks too, but that Glock 17, it's very like crispy, if that's even a word to use in a gun. When you pull the slide back, you literally hear the spring scream for dear life, as if it's a rusty old spring underneath a Chevy. Very clunky. The Glock 17 Classic, that's the one I would say I'm not a fan of compared to the 226 Classic, but it is still a fun gun. I'd prefer the Sig over the Glock in this case. So I'm gonna shoot some steel, and hopefully I don't miss in front of my friends. Uh-oh. Not too bad. Not too bad. I like that. So, with that being said, guys, this is the Sig Sauer P226 Classic. I highly recommend this gun, even if it is the first time shooting it. We all know Sig reliability. I personally think it's great. Now you just get it in the classic version, man. Bring it back to the 80s. So, guys, thank you so much for watching the video. And if you would, please like and hit that subscribe button. It would really help. And any suggestions you guys have for any more videos, please let me know. On that note, I'll see you guys later.